Good morning, students. Today I am going to start chapter number 3, Constitutional Design from Democratic Politics. And today's topics are Democratic Constitution in South Africa. Number 2, Struggle Against Apartheid. Number 3, Towards a New Constitution. And number 4, Why do we need a constitution? So students, in my previous explanation and your previous chapters, I told you about different kind of rulers who are not free to do what they like, and what is democracy. And I told you also about the certain basic rules that the citizens and the government have to follow. So students, all such rules together are called constitution, and constitution is the supreme law of the country and determines the right of citizens, the power of government, and how the government should function. So students, in this chapter we have to learn about the constitutional design of democracy and why do we need a constitution, and how are the constitutions drawn up, and who designs them and in what way, and what are the values and the shapes of the constitution in democratic states. So students, these are some questions which we have to study this chapter for the answer of all these questions. All right. So students, first of all, I am going to discuss with you about the constitution designing and for a democracy related to the South Africa. So students, first of all, we have to look at what happened in South Africa and how the South Africans went about this task of designing their constitution for them. Okay? So students, the sentence which I am going to read in front of you, that was said by the Nelson Mandela. Students, he said that I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve, but if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. So students, this was Nelson Mandela, and he was tried for treason by the white or European South African government, which had ruled over the South Africa. So students, he and his 7 other leaders were sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964 for daring to oppose the apartheid regime in his country. And he spent the next precious 28 years in South Africa's most dreaded or danger prison, which is known as Robben Island. Okay. And students, Nelson Mandela fought against apartheid and segregation because apartheid divided the people and labeled them on the basis of their skin color. Okay. After that, your next topic is struggle against apartheid. So students, first of all, we have to clear here what is the meaning of apartheid. So students, apartheid was the name of a kind of system of racial discrimination which was unique to South Africa between the white Europeans and black Africans. Okay? And the white Europeans imposed that system on South Africa during the 17th and 18th century when he came as a trading company from Europe to India and Africa and occupied the all the states and territories of India and Africa. But students, here I want to clear you that unlike India, a large number of whites had settled in South Africa and became the local rulers of some South African states. And students, Nelson Mandela was fought against the apartheid because apartheid divided the people and labeled them on the basis of their skin color. For example, the native people of South Africa are black in color. You know very well that. And that time they made up about 3/4 of the population and were called blacks. And the different colored people divided by the Europeans into two groups. There were people of mixed races who were called colored, and some of them people who migrated from India also. So students, the white rulers treated all non-whites as inferior in the compare of them, and the non-whites or colored or blacks did not have voting rights that time. And students, the system of apartheid was very oppressive for the blacks because they were not allowed or forbidden from leaving those areas where whites or Europeans lived. And they could work in white areas only if they had a special permit from the Europeans. Even students, train, buses, taxis, hotels, hospitals, schools, and colleges, libraries, cinema halls, theaters, beaches, swimming pools, and public toilets were all separate from the whites and blacks. And students, this policy, which was made by the Europeans in South Africa, called segregation. Even students, blacks were not allowed to visit the churches where the whites worship, and blacks also could not form association or protest against the terrible treatment. Okay, so students, finally in 1950 the African National Congress was the umbrella organization that led the struggle against the policies of segregation, because students that time, Indians who lived there and blacks who were the native people of South Africa were totally dominated, neglected, segregated by the whites, and they were all tired completely, totally by the oppressive or repressive policy of the Europeans or European government. That's why they all started to join up or together and started or form an organization which is African National Congress. All right. So students, Nelson Mandela was one of the leaders amongst the 8 who were tried for treason by the white South African government. All right. Who were against the policies of whites. All right. And students, colored and Indians fought together against the apartheid system of Europeans. All right. And also this organization included many workers, union and the Communist Party, and even many sensitive whites also joined the ANC to oppose apartheid and played a leading role in the struggle of apartheid and against the policies of European government in South Africa. Students, even several countries of the world were against the apartheid as unjust and racist. But students, the white racist government continued to rule by detaining, torturing and killing thousands of black and colored people to continue their rules in South Africa. All right. After that, students, your next topic is towards a new constitution. So students, as the protest and struggle against apartheid increased, as I told you in my previous topic, the blacks could no longer be kept under the rule of the government through repression. That's why the white regime or government started to change its all the policies. And in this series, discriminatory laws were repealed, ban on political parties and restriction on the media were lifted by the European government. And students, after some time later, after 20 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela walked out of the jail as a free man. And finally, at the midnight of 26 April 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled, marking the newly born democracy in the world. And the apartheid or European government came to end. All right. So students, one question again will arise here, that how did this come about? So students, here again some sentences are given below in your book, which was said by the Nelson Mandela as the first president of this new South Africa. He said that historical enemies succeeded in negotiating a peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy, exactly because we were prepared to accept the inherent capacity for goodness in the other. My wish is that South Africans never gave up on the beliefs in goodness. That they cherish the faith in human being is the cornerstone of our democracy. So students, after that, the emergence of the new democratic South Africa, black leaders appealed to fellow blacks to forgive the whites for their oppressive policies and for their nature of rule. Students, they said, let us build a new South Africa based on equality of all races and based on equality between men and women. And we have to follow all the democratic values, social justice and human right. Alright? So students, the party that ruled through oppression and brutal killing and the party that led the freedom struggle sat together to draw up a common constitution. Alright? So students, after 2 years of discussion and debate, all came out with one of the finest constitution the world has ever had. And students, this constitution gave to its citizens the most extensive rights available in a country for all. So students, together they decided that in the search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded and no one should be treated as a lower, inferior or superior or as a demon. They agreed together that everybody should become part of the solution, whatever they might have done or represented in the past. And all these lines, students, are about the Europeans or white rulers and their attitude. So students, the preamble to the South African Constitution sums up this spirit. Okay? After that, the South African Constitution inspires democracy and their features all over the world. And South Africa represent to the entire world till 1994 as the most model of democracy in all over the world. So students, what made this change possible was the determination of the people of South Africa to work together or to transform bitter experience into the binding glue of a rainbow nation. Alright. So students, whatever sentences said by Nelson Mandela, I am going to repeat again in front of you that the Constitution of South Africa speaks of both the past and the future. On the one hand, it is a solemn pact in which we as South Africans declare to one another that we shall never permit a repetition of our racist, brutal and repressive past. But it is more than that. It is also a charter for the transformation of our country into one which is truly shared by all its people. A country which in the fullest sense belongs to all of us, black and white, women and men. So students, This sentence is said by the Nelson Mandela after getting democracy in South Africa. And South Africa, so students, finally, South Africa became the idol for all over the world. So students, on the basis of all the above explanation, now you can understand what is the importance of democracy and what is the importance of constitution for any country. All right, and number of people who were died only to achieve and for the restoration of democracy and constitution in their country. All right, so students, after that your last topic is why do we need a constitution. So students, again we will take the example of South Africa to see why we need the constitution and what constitutions do. So students, the oppressor and oppressed were planning to live together in South Africa as equal in the new democracy. Each section wanted to safeguard their interest and wanted a substantial social and economic rights. Through negotiations, both parties came to a compromise, and the whites also agreed to the principle of majority rule and that of one person, one vote. All right, and students, they also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and the workers. The blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute and that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. So students, again one question will arise here, that how was this compromise to be implemented? So students, the only way to build and maintain trust in such a situation was to write down some rules of the game that everyone would abide by. All right, so these supreme rules that no government would be able to ignore are called a constitution. So students, here I want to clear in front of you again what is constitution. So students, the meaning of constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people of a country related to all over the world. All right, so students, after that, every country has diverse groups of people, and all over the world people have differences of opinion and interest. So the constitution is the supreme law that determines the relationship among people living in a territory are called citizens, and also the relationship between the people and government. So students, now we have to understand that what constitution do. First point is, it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people live together. Number two, it specifies how the government will be constituted and who will have the power to take which decisions. Number third is, it lays down limits on the powers of the government and tell us what the rights of the citizens are. Number fourth is, it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. So students, all countries that have constitution are not necessarily democratic, but all countries that are democratic will have constitution. All right, students. So students, for today that's all, and please listen my explanation very carefully, and if you have any doubt or confusion, then contact me. All right, thank you and have a nice day.